again Monday at 5.
At Uncle Bill's, we say, yes, you can.
Now, you know, I used to do half-hour shows all the time, you see. And this show tonight, of course, is a special. That is, they call it a special. It's not a special at all. It's an hour show. They always make a big thing. It's all it is 2 half hours put together. It's not a special. To me, a special is when coffee goes from 85 cents to 74.
A love letter to Jack Benny, sent with affection and gratitude for the many wonderful moments he gave us all. Hosted by 3 of Jack's dearest friends, George Burns, Bob Hope, and Johnny Carson. And from the Jack Benny specials, Lucille Ball, Dick Clark, Phyllis Diller, Walt Disney, Dean Martin, Dick Martin, Gregory Peck, President Ronald Reagan, Dan Rowan, Don Rickles, Dinah Shore, Frank Sinatra, Red Skelton, the Smothers Brothers, Elkie Summer, John Wayne, Lawrence Welk, and featuring from Jack's old gang, Phil Harris, Mary Livingston, Dennis Day, Rochester, Don Wilson, Mel Blanc, Frank Nelson, and Benny Rubin.
We appreciate that. But tonight, the applause is for Jack. This won't be a eulogy. We did that years ago. Now it's time to look back at Jack Benny, the performer. The comedian who made us laugh through a depression, 2 wars, and 3 Indian uprisings.
You know, with Jack, it looked easy, but you don't sustain a career for 65 years by just saying, well, and now cut that out.
That only accounts for about 30 years of it.
So in the next 2 hours, we're going to be talking a lot about Jack Benny and be watching loads of hilarious clips from those wonderful specials he did.
We're really looking forward to it because there's no one we love more than Jack, no one we admired more.
And no one would be doing so many straight lines about. Okay, so what about the comedy of Jack Benny? When you hear those 2 words, Jack Benny, the first thing you think of is cheap.
And the second thing you think of is cheap. Jack wasn't just cheap, he was the cheapest. That's because Jack knew that extremes are funny. Having a safe in your house isn't funny, but an underground vault with squeaky iron doors and a moat full of hungry alligators, that's funny. Driving a 10-year-old car, not funny. But a Maxwell with petunias growing through the hood, funny.
And Jack's eyes, they weren't just blue, they had to be bluer than the thumbs of a cross-eyed carpenter or the thumb of an Eskimo hitchhiker. I love that one.
You'd love it better if you could say it. Over the years, Jack established that...
You don't like my timing?
Over the years, Jack established that stingy character so solidly that any reference to it was good for a laugh. And the references were frequent.
Take you, Jack. Did you have complete communication with your parents?
Well, come to think of it, there was a lack of communication between my parents and me. Not that I didn't love them, you know. It was a toll call.
I seem to recall that when Disneyland first opened, I gave you a 14-karat solid gold pass, lifetime pass to Disneyland.
Yes, you did give me a solid gold pass.
Well, where is that?
Here, I had a round
And I know, my friend, that you'll want to be the first today, because to the first customer today and today only, we give a free solid gold wristwatch. Don't reach for your wallets now. Unfortunately, although this is a very high-class show, we sometimes get a low-class type of person in our audience, pickpockets. We want to warn you gentlemen in the audience against pickpockets, so make sure your wallet is where it's supposed to be. I want to tell you folks that luscious Lucille is the most fantastic dancing girl in all history. When Lucille... Lily St. Cyr burst her bubble, and Sally Rand grabbed her fans and flew back to Capistrano.
You know, that Barker looks familiar. Then, of course, there were the gags about Jack's age.
I want to tell you I haven't been this excited since Alexander Graham Bell said, "Can you hear me, Jack?"
See, we call you Mr. Benny, both my brother and myself, out of respect.
Out of respect.
After all, you are a little bit older than we are.
That's right.
A little older, huh?
Yeah.
Well, how old would you think I am?
Gee, I don't know.
Well, guess. Go ahead. I mean, I promise you I won't be offended.
Okay.
Just guess. Guess how
Tommy,
old I am.
he always says
Just
he's...
looking at me, guess.
He always says he's 39, right? So he's got to be at least 44?
Well, at least he couldn't be 44 because he wasn't in the last war, was he?
Yeah, but maybe he was a coward.
Could be something else.
Something else.
Yeah, did you ever notice the way he walks?
That was another thing, Jack's walk. You'll hear lots of kidding about that tonight.
Bob, what was it exactly about Jack's walk?
I don't know, but Phil Harris once said, you put a dress on Jack and you could take him anywhere.
Those gestures of his. As a vaudeville monologist, Jack carried a fiddle. In radio, he held a script. But in TV, he didn't know what to do with his hands. He felt awkward. So he turned a weakness into a strength and developed all those gestures that became his trademark. That one was to pinch color into his cheeks.
And then, of course, there was the way he had of turning and looking out to the audience like a wounded deer. It was a reaction, but it was also Jack's way of getting a laugh. He looked at them till they laughed. And if he had to, Jack would outweight them. The audience knew either they laughed or it was the end of the show.
Yeah, that was Jack's style. He looked, he stared, he waited. I think he learned it from a turtle.
I once told him he should team up with Perry Como and make still pictures. But Jack had a routine with Mel Blanc that he used to switch around and it never missed. Watch this. It's not only a comedy classic, but it's a perfect example of Jack's unique pacing.
You are the Tijuana Strings?
Si.
Then I take it you're all from Tijuana, huh?
Si.
Am I right in assuming that you are their leader? Huh?
Si.
What's your name?
Si. Si.
The Tijuana Strings, that seems awfully close to the Tijuana Brass. I mean, didn't they ever object to it?
Si.
Well, what do they do?
Su.
Sue?
Si.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, go ahead and play something. Now, what are you going to play?
The flea.
I'm afraid to ask this next one. The flea?
Yes, sir.
Cisco, did you say yes, sir?
He.
Oh, go ahead and say something, will you? Oh, go ahead and say something, will you? Fellas, do you object if I play your second number with you? Well, look, this is my dumb show, and I'm going to do it. Now, we'll start at the count of 3. 3. C. Now, follow me. And I want to play this real fast. You know, mucho largo. Ready?
To Jack, the important thing was how funny his show was, not how funny he was. He never counted his own laughs. And I suspect that that quality alone goes a long way toward accounting for the longevity of his career.
One season on his opening radio show, Jack let his cast do the entire half hour without him. He just came on for the last line.
I couldn't do that. I'd be afraid they wouldn't get me out of the straitjacket in time to get in that last line.
But that was Jack, and he didn't think twice about letting this fella open his birthday special.
Thank you, thank you. I'm Jack Benny, and I welcome you to my special. I'm so glad you tuned in, because on tonight's show, I'm celebrating my birthday. And we'll get started in just a minute.
Now, do you believe that? Jack not only let Lawrence Welk open the show, but he gave him his voice, too. And then during his monologue, he called Welk out again.
I'll tell you, I can't get over how great you did that impersonation of me.
Why, Jack, I do a lot of impersonations.
You do a lot of impersonations?
Certainly. Get a load of this, Edward G. Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson, huh?
Now, look, you guys, you keep muscling in on my territory, and I'm gonna let you have it, see?
That's wonderful. Wow, that was great. Anybody else?
I can also do Cary Grant.
You can do Cary Grant? Let's hear it, yeah.
Judy, Judy, Judy.
But look, I must ask you something, though.
What's that?
You do such great impressions. Do you do them on your own show?
Oh, no. On my show, we don't take any chances.
Jack loved working with straight dramatic actors. In fact, he often would get bigger laughs with them than with other comedians.
Yeah. Well, if that's the way you felt, what are we doing here?
They wouldn't leave me out here alone for $1 million. But there were times, like in those flashback scenes Jack did so often, when he felt the straight actor gave the comedy an extra dimension. One of my favorite scenes was this one, where he goes over to Gregory Peck's house to ask him if Greg would make his first TV appearance on Jack's show.
Yes.
I'm Jack Benny. Mr. Peck is expecting me.
Oh, yes, Mr. Benny. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
I'm Mr. Peck's secretary. I'll tell him you're here.
Thank you very much. Who's this fella here?
Oh, he's Williams, the butler.
Oh.
Excuse me, please.
Oh, I see. You?
Can I get you anything, sir?
Well, it's a little early for dinner.
I meant to drink.
Oh, to drink? No.
Martini?
No, thank you.
Scotch?
No.
A glass of milk?
Milk? Yes, with a dash of nutmeg. Gregory Peck, best actor, To Kill a Mockingbird. Geez, I don't remember that one. I gotta watch more television. I was just looking at this, Greg. This is pretty nice. I didn't know you had one of these, too.
Oh, well, do you have one, Jack?
No, but I was at Rod Steiger's house, and he has one.
Well, Jack, come over here and sit down. I'm sorry I kept you waiting.
It's all right.
Phone just won't stop ringing.
Pretty busy, huh?
Oh, there just aren't enough hours. You know, meetings, picture deals, and the new campaign for the Motion Picture and Television Relief Fund.
Uh-huh.
And scripts to read. Would you believe it, Jack, if I told you that I was happier when I was an usher at the Radio City Music Hall?
No, I wouldn't believe it.
Well, neither would I. Well, Jack, what's on your mind?
Well, Greg, now look at you and I. We've been friends for years.
We have?
Yes, and I was wondering if you would like to make...
Oh, there goes the phone, Jack. Excuse me. Hello. Oh, yes. Hello, George. Aha. Yes, I received the rendering and the plans for the new wing for the Motion Picture Country House, and it's just perfect. Perfect. But, George, with financing the way it is today, it'll cost us a fortune. We have to figure it'll cost at least, $20 a square foot, and that'll amount to a lot of money. Now, what I suggest is that we shop around and get another estimate. Okay, George. Yes, I think that's a very good idea. When you get the information, I suggest we have another meeting with the board, and I'll be available anytime you want. Right. Thanks, George. And my best to Ruth. Bye. Oh, sorry, Jack.
Greg, who did that painting there?
Oh, that one's by Van Gogh.
Oh, Van Gogh?
Yeah.
Did Van do this one, too?
In fact, that one's by Mike Angelo.
Oh, Michelangelo.
Yeah.
I thought he only did ceilings.
Pardon me, Mr. Peck, but Williams would like to talk to you.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Sir, I can't seem to find the car keys for Andrew.
Oh, you want the car keys? Well, let's see.
I found him, Mr.
Don't
Peck.
see. Oh, good, good.
feel like I'm in the Valley of the Giants. Now I know how the world looks to Mickey Rooney.
Drive carefully now.
What kind of a car do you drive?
A Volkswagen. Now, Jack.
Volkswagen.
Where were we, Jack? Sit down.
Well, Greg, as I was saying, I'm doing a television show, you see, and I...
Oh, Jack. You don't mind?
Why should I mind?
Hello? Oh. Well, no, it's all right if you have all the facts. Go right ahead. Uh-huh. I see. Yes, that's with Faraday in the deal. Yes, and without him, yes, I see. Yes, I understand. Foreign distribution. Yes, of course. Yes, I follow that. Now, exactly what is each person's function? I see. Yes. Well, all right, Lou. I'll tell you what. I'll talk to my accountant about it. I'll get back. All right. Bye, Lou.
Thanks.
Well, terribly sorry. Oh, Hilda, would you hold all the phone calls until I notify you, please?
Yes, Hilda, hold the phone. Now, look, Greg, there's no sense of our beating around the bush. You see, the reason I'm here is because, gee, I don't even know how to start this. Really, I want to ask you if you would appear as a guest on my television show.
Oh, well, Jack, I'd be delighted to be on your show.
Well, why not? Give me one good reason. The rehearsal is a sin.
Jack.
It's better than pictures.
Jack.
And it's easier work.
I said I would do it. I said I'd be delighted to be on your show.
Gee. Well, Greg, gee, that's nice. But there's just one problem. You know, Greg, I know that you demand a lot of money, you see, and I have such expenses on my show between the scenery and the people and everybody that I don't think I can afford.
No, Jack, listen, Jack, forget all about the money. I'll do your show for nothing. Jack, what did you say? I said I'll do your show for nothing. Williams, will you get Mr. Benny a drink?
No, thanks. No. It's just that I haven't had dinner yet. In fact, I didn't even get my milk yet. But Greg, anyway, gee, thanks so much. Not only being on my show, but to come on for nothing. I don't know what to say.
Oh, Jack, I'm
thanks,
delighted.
Greg. Thanks very, very much.
Quite all right.
Thanks, Greg.
I'll look forward to it. Right. All right.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thanks very much, Greg.
Oh, it's quite all right.
Geez, I could cry. 1 minute, thanks. Marvelous that you would do this.
Just a minute. You forgot your ball and jacks.
Look, Greg, you're coming on my show for nothing. Keep 'em.
A Love Letter to Jack Benny will return in a moment.
There was one trick that Jack and his writers often used, and with great success. When Jack was out on that stage, he was constantly being interrupted.
I don't know of anyone who has the problems with the simplest things. Like, for instance, if I go in. Thank you.
That's a telegram for you.
Yes, well, thank you, but why didn't you... Wait a minute. You know, you look exactly
Yes, I know.
like Red Skelton.
Yeah, you're the 10th person that said that this week. I'm a dreamer, ain't I? I tell you, I don't have many lines, but I make the most of them.
What are you doing here?
Well, Jack, this is your 20th anniversary, and I want to do the anniversary waltz with you.
That Dean dance is close.
He has to. It holds him up. Sometimes they interrupted Jack in the middle of a joke.
So the first drunk said, a poodle. So the other drunk said, this'll kill you. The other drunk said, look it, if I...
I've tried to tell you 100 times. I must have said this to I don't know how many times. I tell you 100 times, you just shouldn't do it. That's all. You shouldn't do it. I know. I thought it would be funny. Well, it is funny to everybody else, but you just don't say sock it to me to guys like Cassius Clay. That's all. I thought it would...
So this other drunk said, I wish I could make a trade like that. That's the end of the joke.
Sometimes the interruptions came from the audience.
Stop it! Hey, wait a minute! Wait a minute! I mean, what's going on here? Let this man perform. I don't understand it. My Aunt Fanny, she came all the way from Hoboken, New Jersey, to see her idol, Jack Benny. Sit down, lady. All the way from Hoboken to see her idol, Jack Benny, not to see Gunsmoke. 4 days on the train, my Aunt Fanny was, with cheese and crackers. Go on, Aunt Fanny, darling. You can burp up, whatever you want. Down. Wait a minute, Jack. Please. Wait a minute. Do your stuff. This woman loves you. I'm on your side, Jack. Don't you understand that? You're the dean of comedy. You're the greatest. You're the elder statesman of humor. You deserve attention and respect.
Look, Don.
Will you shut up? Fanny, you should have seen this guy years ago when he was a lot younger. He walked regular.
Don, Jack is just trying to...
You see who it is? It's Dinah Shore. Dinah Shore. I didn't recognize her out of the kitchen. I didn't recognize you, Dinah. Sing Natchez to Mobile for Aunt Fanny. Natchez to Mobile. Come on, sing it.
Now, look, Don. Either sit down or get out of here.
I had it with you, Mr. Benny. That's it. Nobody insults me. Nobody. I'm going to take my Fanny and get out of here.
wasn't only people that interrupted Jack. It wasn't only people that interrupted Jack.
We have one of the most exciting musical groups in our business today. I told you 10 times I'm sending you the check next week. Now get out of here. Go. I'll send you the check. He drives me nuts. You know, on my last television show, I had a group of penguins, and this one is their agent.
And that's not all. Monkey see, monkey do.
I've never seen on the show before that you What's this? Let's see. It says, farewell, Jack. Wait a minute, fellas. Fellas, come here. Come here. Fellas, I try to explain. This is not... Look, this is... Fellas, look, fellas. I'm trying to explain. Look, this is not... Listen to me. Listen, this is not my farewell appearance. This is my first farewell appearance. That's what it is. It's my first farewell appearance.
Believe me, poor Jack had trouble with everyone on that show. We all thought it was his farewell special. I remember I came out at the beginning and praised Jack to the skies. Told him that he'd been my idol since I was a kid, how I tried to emulate his styles, his moves, how I'd even tried to copy the way he walked, and how that was the only time I was ever arrested. But then I guess I got a little choked up.
Now that Jack Benny is doing his final farewell show, I feel a personal sense of loss, a kind of emptiness, if you will, and I don't really know how to explain it from the...
Johnny.
Yes, Jack.
What are you doing? I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, why are you crying?
Jack, I'm just honest. I can't help but the thought of you doing your farewell show.
It's not a farewell show. It's my first farewell show. Jack Benny's first farewell special. That's what we advertise. That's what we're doing.
You mean I stood out here and said all those nice things about you and you're not quitting?
Why? Why should I quit? Next time I'll do a second farewell show, then a third. I may do a whole series of farewells.
But Jack, look, I thought you were stepping aside for someone younger.
Like who?
Anybody. Look, Jack, now,
What?
I want to ask you something.
Yeah?
If you're not quitting, why am I here working for free? Why am I working for nothing tonight?
Because I'm your idol. That's why. And I'm your friend. Who got you out of jail when you were arrested for walking like me?
Now, cut that out! Gee whiz.
Look, Johnny.
Yes.
The title of the show is in all the ads. Plain as day. If you can't read, that's your problem.
Well, you told me.
It's called Jack Benny's first farewell special.
The mind is the first to go.
No.
Now, why would I say the mind's the first thing to go? It could be another part of the anatomy. Believe it or not, this went out on the air just as you're actually seeing it. But I had done the pants bit the day before in rehearsal, you know, to get a laugh out of the crew. And without telling me, those sneaks taped it and put it into the show.
And I'll tell you something else. Wait, I'm not coming to your party Saturday night either.
You weren't invited. How did he find out?
catering it. Try to be a nice guy. You know, he doesn't realize what a tough time I had finding that out.
I think you shot it and stuck it.
You know something? I never got one letter of complaint or praise. But what I said before about Jack being my idol and patterning my performing style after Jack's was really true. And Jack's writers use this as the basis of a very funny sketch in which Jack played the owner of the Kobelski Carnival Troupe. Lucille Ball played his wife, and I played, well, you'll see. Now, the whole troupe sleeps in this trailer, and they're now in Corn Creek, New Mexico. Kobelski has just gotten everyone up and out to work.
Oh, look, Tonto's still asleep.
Hey, Tonto! Tonto, wake up! Go to work!
All right, don't rush me. I'll go to work.
Are you sure he's an Iroquois?
Who cares as long as he brings in the wampum? Hey, Jackie! Jackie, get up, will you? There's work to be done. I don't know what's the matter with that son of ours. He just doesn't have carnival in his blood. Lately, nothing seems to excite him.
Yeah, and how many kids get the opportunity to go to Corn Creek, New Mexico?
Jay, do you think he's got a girlfriend?
Are you kidding? Girls cost money. His idea of a good time is sitting around licking trading stamps. Boy, is he cheap.
I can't understand who he takes after. Hey, where is that boy? Jackie! Well, I guess I'm ready. Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye, Dad.
Goodbye?
Yeah, Jackie, what's this all about? Well, I'll tell you what it's all about. I'm 21 and I'm leaving. 21. He's 33 if he's a day. What do you mean you're leaving? Well, I'm sick of this carnival. You know, I don't have to do this. I'm going to change my name and be a comedian. Tell jokes on television. That's where all the money is. Money, money. There are more important things than money. If you weren't my father, I'd slap your face.
Now, Jackie, don't be fresh.
Now, how can you even think of leaving the carnival? You're my son. Well, someday this will all be yours. It's already mine. Who do you think holds the mortgage?
Yeah, he's right. You might as well take this. I'll never be able to keep up the payment.
Now cut that out! You know you can't return merchandise after it's been used for 30 days. But this frying pan belongs to me. I'm going to take it. And this clock, it's mine too. And the can opener. And this is mine. And the glasses. Now, open your mouth. I will not.
How do you like that? We raised a human claw machine.
You know, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. In all my life, I've never seen such an ingrate. You are, without a doubt, the stingiest, cheapest guy that has ever walked this earth. Well! And I'll tell you something. You're making a mistake, son, going out there. You know, to leave me at this carnival. There are millions of comedians, but I'm not just a comedian. I can also get him with this. With a load of this, blue eyes. That's it, son. You got it. Go out there and get it. Go out there and get it.
I always had fun doing sketches with Jack. Here are some highlights from one we did. It was sort of a Mary Poppins version of a typical earthy Italian movie. Jack played the husband, Rossano, whose wife is leaving him and the kids for a 3-month vacation.
But the Papa, who's gonna take care of us?
Don't worry. Yesterday, your mama, she's a call agency. They're going to send over a governess.
That's right. Now, Rossano, take the bambinos out of here while I finish packing.
All right, come on, baby.
It's hard to believe he followed an organ grinder around for 3 weeks learning that accent.
Who's there?
Oh, it's me, Marcello. They took a gamble calling me Marcello. Millions of people could have thought that was Mastroianni. Well, I was the chauffeur, and this was one of my duties.
Marcello. I'm gonna miss you. I don't know how I'm gonna get along without you for 3 whole months. I love you.
Wherever I work, it's the same thing. Please, you mashing my mustache.
Marcello, what's come over you? The first 3 years, you were such a nice chauffeur. All the time you used to hold me and hug me and kiss me. Things were so different.
Well, I had to do something. You didn't have a car. Ordinarily, I like doing this sort of scene with Sophia Loren, but Jack thought I should do it with this lady. So did Sophia Loren. Anyway, I drove her to the airport, and the governess arrived.
Juanita, there's a nobody there?
That's a pretty good trick. And that governess isn't bad either.
I put this away.
You say your wife was going to be away?
Only 3 months.
Rossano was so excited he ran out to buy pasta for 2. That was his mistake. He should never have left her.
It's a murder driving through traffic with 180 pounds sitting on your lap.
Who are you?
I'm the chauffeur. Who are you?
I'm the governess. And I think you're cute.
There goes Sunday.
Kiss me.
No, please, have a respect for the uniform. What kind of man do you think I am? I cannot cheat on a boss's wife.
I cannot help myself. You are so attractive and so handsome and so strong and so exciting and so masculine. Oh.
I never take a guest spot without my own writers. Then we kissed. I hated myself, but with an elky summer, who am I to care about my opinions?
I don't know which one of these wines to serve.
Maria, I bring you some nice...
Marcello! Maria, what is it?
His mustache was wrinkled, and I was pressing it.
Marcello, you cannot do this to me. She's a mine. I saw her first.
Yeah, but I have a better accent.
There was more to the sketch, but you didn't tune in to see great acting. Jack had some big shows, but his 20th TV anniversary was a blockbuster. Everyone turned out for that one. And halfway through the proceedings, Jack got a real surprise.
At this time, I would like to introduce my next guest. This great artist has all... What is that? Hey, fellas, what's that noise?
It's a helicopter. It's coming this way.
A helicopter? In here? Frankie. Did you fly in from Palm Springs?
No, I was having a cup of coffee across the street.
You flew over here from across the street in a helicopter?
Somebody stole my elephant.
Well, that I don't understand at all.
Look, Jack, who are we kidding? I wasn't just across the street having a cup of coffee.
Oh, then you did fly in from Palm Springs?
Yes, I did fly in from Palm Springs.
Oh, then nobody stole your elephant?
No, that part is true.
Now, what are you going to sing, Frankie?
Well, I thought I'd just ad-lib something for about...
Ad-lib?
Ad-lib, yeah. That's from the Latin.
I know, Caesar Romero told me. Go ahead, sing, Dennis.
Frank. Well, my story.
Frank was great. And then I had a little surprise for Jack that was done in fun, too. But I think you'll see some of the deep affection we had for each other come through.
What is this? What do you got there, Bud?
This is just a plaque given to you by your staff, the network executives, your sponsor, and everyone that has been associated with you, including myself.
That's thrilling.
You know, I could cry. Well, try that.
No. That's nice. What does it say, Bud?
Well, let me tell you. Thanks for the memory, your flair for jollity, your fiddling so off-key. With just a bit more practice, any young one you could be. So thank you so much. Thanks for the memory of love that you inspire. As birthday cakes grow higher, the candles for each year could cause another Frisco fire. Frisco fire. So thanks, Mr. B. You'll never get any older. At least from your head to your shoulder. But don't try to get any bolder. And make a date, 'cause it's too late. So thanks for the memory of friendship you and I have shared through years gone by. I've been your pal and you've been mine. That will never die.
Just great.
Hey, Art. Hey, thank you. It's yours.
Thank you. Now, Bob, I'd like to sing something for you.
All right.
Can it be the plaque that set you back at least $1.50? Oh, no, it is the plaque.
I was on lots of Jack shows, and I still don't believe some of the things I did to him.
Well, let's see what this is. Oh, this is a telegram from my closest friend, George Burns. It says, Dear Jack, this is a talking telegram. Hold it up to your ear and listen carefully. Talking telegram? Never heard of such a thing. Really?
Only an idiot would stand before 40 million people holding a telegram to his ear. Look, if everyone else could drive him nuts, why shouldn't his closest friend? I shouldn't have done that. I'm ashamed of myself. But Jack got even with me. How he talked me into this one, I'll never know. Why shouldn't his closest friend? I shouldn't have done that. I'm ashamed of myself. But Jack got even with me. How he talked me into this one, I'll never know. I'm glad that's over.
Hey, Neptune. Neptune, I'm not through yet.
Are you through?
Almost.
I guess when your plumbing gets old, you keep going. Hey, watch it.
It's not me. It's from that fountain across the street.
Oh, yeah. Hannibal and his elephants.
Rome should be ashamed of itself with that water. It's making me sick.
Could be worse. We could be standing somewhere in Tijuana.
Between the water and having to look down at those coins in the fountain is driving me crazy.
Hey, Neptune, guess what?
What?
Come Friday, I'll be 500 years old.
Androphanes. You're 500? You don't look a day over 380.
Are you kidding? It's been that long since my toes fell off.
It has?
Yeah, I really miss those toes.
Well, you've been here as long as I have. You'd be surprised what you can get along without.
I hear that Hercules over there just lost his nose.
Lucky him.
It's boring standing like that. So after a while, Androphanes started to sing, and Neptune couldn't take it. Don't go hunting possums. Oh, honeymoon, shine on in June. Oh, hear me croon this lovely tune. Trees and bees are sighing, crying it. Lovey, let me lace red rose flag. Oh, honey bee, be sweet to me. My heart is free. Here's the key. Lock up your garden gate, honey. I know you'll wait under the rambling rose tree. Pick a pinky petal for your papa's pride. Beg a burning blossom for your blushing bride. Rock me like a flower. Cuddle me. Classy finish, huh? Can I tell you something? Those pigeons were not well trained. Now you're gonna see a thing I had the most fun doing on a Benny show. 2 bushels in effect. By the way, Gregory Peck is the tall one.
Honey, my heart will pine for you when the toilet day is through. Every little star blinking from afar will be shining just for you. My honey, each breeze will sigh for you. Birds be singing for you too. I will hum a lonesome tune every morning, night and noon. Oh, honey, I will long for you.
Color all my dreams and light the dawn. Look into my eyes, my love, and see all the lovely things teardrop kissed your lips, and so did I. Now when I remember spring, all the joy that love can bring, I will be remembering the shadow of your.
Just what is wrong with the girl of today is a problem this world has to face. They blame it on this and they blame it on that, but they don't seem to get any place. It isn't the lipstick, the cocktails, the jazz that causes the girlie to fall. It's the mother who says if you're not home at 10, then you don't have to come home at all. There's many a girl at Whiskey A Go-Go tonight who would have and could have been good. And each one of them is a living mistake of a parent who misunderstood. So make a pal of your daughter. Make a pal of your daughter. Tell her what's what. And don't hide that book on the shelf. For it's the girls who are wise to the ways of the world who make it tough on guys like myself.
All the joy that love can bring, we will be remembering. The shadow of your smile.
It's hard to believe. I was 94 years old then. And I'm a country singer, too.
A love letter to Jack Benny will return in a moment.
Back in 1931, Jack came on an Ed Sullivan radio show with this opening line. Hello, folks, this is Jack Benny. There'll be a short pause while everyone says, who cares? Well, somebody must have cared because in a few weeks, Jack had his own show. And before long, 30 million of us were switching on sets like this one every Sunday to hear...
Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking.
There were some pretty big radio hits in those days. Modesty prevents me from mentioning one. But Jack was...
We were all in the top 10. We had to be. There were only 8 shows.
And that's counting Phil Spitoni. But Jack became a national habit with dialogue like this.
I envy you that trip to Honolulu. Are you going to stay there all summer?
I'd like to, Don, but I have to be back by the end of July to start my new picture.
Oh, that's right. That's the one you're going to make with Fred Allen, isn't it?
That's what Paramount thought, but I straightened that out. In the first place, how would they ever photograph that face of his?
What's the matter with his face?
I could talk for an hour on that. Why, do you know, Don, when we were in New York last month, the bags under Allen's eyes looked at Phil Harris's and said, my son, my son.
Jack, who's going to be your leading lady?
Only lovely, beautiful Mary Martin, that's all.
Mary Martin? Oh, isn't that the girl that used to sing My Heart Belongs to Daddy?
Yep, that's her.
Is she going to sing it in your picture?
I don't know. It's a kind of an old song.
Well, you're an old daddy. Revive it.
Oh, quiet. Have you ever been to Honolulu, Phil?
No, but I sure wish I could go. Oh, boy, how I'd like to sit on the beach in the moonlight with a couple of those cute little papayas in my arms.
Cute little what?
Papayas, you know, girls, dames.
Papayas?
Sure. Don't you speak Honolulian?
From the start, Jack had that unique format that kept him at the top or near the top of every radio poll for 20 years.
And what a cast. Mary Livingston, Don Wilson, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester. Who else had that kind of talent on the show?
And that was Jack's first team. How about all those other great characters like Mr. Kitzel and that racetrack tout?
And of course, the old guy guarding Jack's vault from the year 1.
Oh, who goes there? Friend or foe?
Friend.
What's the password?
Old soldiers never die.
Oh, it's you, General Benny.
And those two wacky telephone operators, Gertrude Gishift and Mabel Flapsaddle.
Oh, what is it, Geitship?
Mr. Benny's loin is flashing.
Yeah, I wonder what the brave bull wants now.
And we can't forget the train announcer.
Train now leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
That, of course, was Mel Blanc, who also played Jack's French violin teacher, his parrot, and everything else from that lousy car motor to an English horse. In 1950, Jack went into television, and he had mixed feelings about it.
There were some big advantages to radio. Rehearsals were at a minimum. There were no retakes. You could wear the same suit year after year. What a great medium. Let's see, I was in radio 18 years. I had 3 sponsors and 4 suits. No, I had 4 sponsors and 3 suits. But I must admit, I really was worried when I first went into television. I'll tell you why. You see, in radio, the listening audiences created their own pictures. But on television, now let's take my vault. You see, that looked different. My living room wasn't what they expected. I didn't really look cheap. The only true picture was Phil Harris. Who else would lead an orchestra lying face down?
On television, Jack had to lean more on himself and his guests, and the old gang appeared less frequently. But they did show up from time to time, like in this scene at the airport.
Listen, I want you to check these bags and make sure they're not overweight.
Overweight?
Yes, you see, you have to be very careful, because when they're overweight, they charge you extra. You know, like 88 cents a pound to Mexico City, that's where we're going, and 64 cents a pound to Acapulco, and 52 cents a pound to Tijuana.
I've got an idea.
What?
You go to Mexico City and send your clothes to Tijuana.
This was a Rochester who had recovered from a stroke, but never did regain that great delivery of his. Jack knew it, but he never let Rochester know that he knew it. He continued using him whenever he could. There were other familiar faces at the airport.
Peggy! Peggy, here I am! Over here! Peggy! Hey!
Dennis Day.
Oh, hi.
Hi, my goodness, is this a surprise meeting you here?
Yeah, what a small world, huh?
Gee, Dennis, it's so good to see you. I can't tell you how many times I've thought about you these past few years. I've missed you. I really have.
Hey, Peggy, hey, look who's here. It's, what was that name again?
What is that name again? Dennis.
Hey, what a coincidence. That's my name, too.
Dennis, now stop with that silly talk again. You know my name is Benny, Jack Benny.
Oh, yeah. You see, Peggy, I told you he doesn't look any better in person.
And you know there had to be this character.
Oh, Mister.
Yeah.
Are you the ticket clerk?
No, I'm a 747 with a mustache.
Now stop with that, will you, please? I remember you. Listen, I want my ticket validated. Here.
Well, Mexico City. What are we running away from this time?
I'm not running away from anything. Just validate my ticket.
There.
Thanks. Hey, wait a minute. I gave you a round-trip ticket. You didn't give me the return here.
Well, you can't blame me for trying.
Frank Nelson, what a riot. And good old Donzie. For a big occasion, who else but Don Wilson to give Jack a proper introduction?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Don Wilson, and I'd like to say what a great personal thrill it is for me to have the honor of introducing the star of our show tonight on his 20th television anniversary. Now, as most of you know, I had the privilege of working with Jack since 1934, first in radio and then on television until he concluded his weekly series. Since then, of course, Jack has kept busy with specials, concerts, nightclubs, and personal appearances. And you want to know something? Not once did I ever hear from him.
Stop!
But Jack's just doing great, and really, I'm very, very happy for him. But what about me? Sitting out there in Palm Springs waiting for the phone to ring. For all he knows, I could be starving.
What are you doing?
Well, I'll admit Jack has a lot of talent. But there is such a thing as loyalty, devotion, a spark of humanity.
Please, forget it. Stop. What is this? What's the matter? You're supposed to introduce me, that's all.
Introduce yourself.
Of the old radio gang, the only one missing was Mary.
Jack begged her to come on, but all those cameras made her nervous.
Really? I thought she just didn't dig working for scale.
Well, that too. Anyway, one time Jack tricked her. While the show was going on, he called her at home.
Hello?
Mary, who were you just talking to?
Nobody. I told you 1,000 times for $2 more we could have a private line.
All right, I'll think about it. Now, aren't you sorry you're not on my show?
I don't know. I'm not watching it.
What? Mary, I know you're too nervous to be on the show, but what excuse have you got for not watching it?
Because you're too sneaky.
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
It means that if you knew I was watching the show, you'd have hidden the camera in this room and I would be one of your guests.
Oh, how can you say that?
How about the last time you asked me to be on your show? You sent me a painting of Betsy Ross making the American flag.
So what? That was a gift. What are you laughing at?
Some gift. Betsy had a camera hidden to the flag.
Well, it looks like Jack had the last laugh.
Until he got home. What about Phil Harris?
Oh, Philsy came on one show, and it was quite a reunion until he started to sing That's What I Like About the South. Jack ran out and told him he couldn't sing that song. It made no sense. Phil insisted that it did. Jack told him to continue. He'd prove that it didn't.
Here come old Bob with all the news. Got the box back coat and the button shoes, but he's all caught up in them union dues. That's what I like about the South. Here come old Rob. And down
Boy,
the
what
street,
happened to
can't
Bob?
you see them scuffling feet? He would rather sleep than eat, and that's what I like about the South. Tell you about a place called Do-Wah-Diddy. Well, it ain't no town, it ain't no city. It's awful small, but awful pretty will do. Wah-Diddy.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! That's the one I've been waiting for. That's the one I've been waiting
That's
for.
the one he's been waiting.
That's the one. Do-wah-diddy. Okay, fellas, bring it in.
Bring what in?
Bring this map in. Bring it in. I want to prove something. Now, Phil, here is the latest map of the United States. Look at it. I want you to show me one place on this map where it says do-wah-diddy. That's what. I can see Walla Walla, Muskegon, Ashtabula, Waxahachie, but where in the name of Aristotle Onassis is do-wah-diddy?
Well, I just told you.
You told me what?
Here's what I told you. I said, did I tell you about the place called Do-Wah-Diddy? It ain't no town. It ain't no city. It's awfully small, but oh, so pretty. Do-wah.
Don't describe it! Don't describe it! Where is it? What is it? Is it a real place? Look, what is it?
What are you talking about? Do you think I'm nuts? When I'm telling you stuff like this, it's not a fig leap of my imagination.
That's figment.
Oh. Get this thing out of here.
Just answer me one thing.
You're lousing my song.
Listen, I don't care. I want you to
That's all
answer
I
me
know.
one thing.
What?
If do-wah-diddy ain't no town and ain't no city,
Yeah.
what is it? Is it a hamlet? Is it a village? Is it a gas station? Is it a washing machine? What? I defy you to answer me.
You know I love you when you get mad. You know the blood's almost up to your chin.
Answer me one question. Where is do-wah-diddy?
Jackson, I can't tell you.
Why not?
Then Alice will know where I've been for the last 4 months.
Jack had a theory about the violin.
And that was his best. Imagine if he wasn't trying. Let's not overdo this. I've been spoiled by Henny Youngman.
But you know, Jack really did love the violin. He joked about the one he played. It was a Strad, Joe Strad. Or he'd say his great-grandfather handed it down to his grandfather, and his grandfather handed it down to his father, and his father sold it to him. But it was a very expensive instrument.
I don't think Jack got a bigger charge out of anything he did than those benefit concerts he did in his later years with the Philharmonic orchestras all over the country. He actually loved playing with the Ormondys and the Stokowskis, and he raised millions.
Yeah, the cheap $5 seats were up front. To sit in the back row, you paid $100. And for $200, you didn't have to come at all.
When he played with the Israeli Philharmonic, they say that Moshe Dayan took the patch off his eye and put it over his ear.
Well, his great friend Isaac Stern, the great concert artist, once said, when Jack Benny walks out in white tie and tails in front of those 90 musicians, he looks like the world's greatest violinist. It's a shame that he has to play. Funny line, huh?
From time to time, Jack liked to do movie takeoffs. So when The Graduate was a big smash, he had to do his version of it. Naturally, Jack played the Dustin Hoffman part, and he looked very carefully to find just the right person for the Anne Bancroft role of Mrs. Robinson, the one who seduces Benjamin when he comes home from college.
Benjamin, you remember me, don't you?
Yes, Mrs. Robinson.
Well, then why are you ignoring me like this?
I'm thinking about my future.
So am I.
But I'm thinking about 5, 10 years from now.
I'm thinking about tonight. Here, have a cigarette.
No, thank you.
Don't you smoke?
No.
Don't you drink?
No. Well, I think
Sit down. Benjamin, why are you fighting me? Don't you think I'm attractive?
Well.
Don't you think I'm beautiful? Do you think I'm too aggressive?
Now, look, Mrs. Robinson, I just got home from school. Mrs. Robinson, please, now, I want you to stay away from me. Now, please. Look, I've got to think of... Look, Mrs. Robinson, now, please. Mrs. Robinson, now, stay away from me. Stay away from me. Look at Mrs. Robinson, where is all of this leading to?
To the Sycamore Hotel at 5th and Grand.
Robinson!
Jack was my best friend, but I'm not sure. But I think Dustin Hoffman did it a little better. Phyllis Diller, Anne Bancroft, a toss-up.
That was The Graduate. In another of his shows, Jack did just the reverse. He played a wolf.
Jack a wolf? I didn't know he was in Little Red Riding Hood.
You see, I'm talking about a whole different Jack. Back in the days when he was a dashing Hollywood heartthrob. A Jack none of us ever knew.
Including Mary.
That was when Lucille Ball was getting her first chance as a Goldwyn girl. And one day, Jack met her on the movie set. As a Goldwyn girl. And one day, Jack met her on the movie set.
Marion Michael Morrison. No wonder you're a chorus boy. You'll never get anywhere with a name like that.
Well, I have been thinking of changing it, Mr. Benny, to Wayne.
Wayne? That's not too bad. Wayne. How about Wayne Newton?
What about John Wayne Newton?
That's worse than Marion Michael Morrison.
You're right, kid. Now, let me give you some advice. You're too big and tall and clumsy to be a chorus boy.
Yeah, you're a klutz.
Hey. Now, listen, kid. Why don't you buy yourself a horse? A cowboy suit. Put a black patch over your eye, and you'll be in business.
You mean you want me to sell shirts?
El Klexo, I told you.
No, be a cowboy. Get into westerns, and you'll be a star.
But that takes true grit.
When it came to guest stars, Jack never believed in booking them and then trying to figure out what to do with them. He felt the idea came first, and then you try for the guest that fits it.
That's why the Gregory Pecks and John Waynes, people who ordinarily wouldn't do comedy shows, didn't hesitate to do the Benny Show. You wouldn't believe the people Jack got on the show.
When Harry Truman came on, even Jack couldn't believe it. But there they were, just the two of them, trading lines for the entire half hour.
And he wasn't even plugging his book.
Speaking of presidents, this one came on that farewell special we mentioned before. Jack had been insisting all through the show that he wasn't retiring. When Ronald Reagan, who was governor then, appeared and gave Jack a very big problem.
Jack, as governor of the state of California, it's a great privilege for me to be here to represent all your friends in show business.
What?
Well, because, Jack, when they heard this was your farewell show, that you're retiring.
But, Governor.
Well, the entire industry, they
Ronnie.
all got together. The stars, the producers, the writers, the sound men, the stage hands. With affection in their hearts, they all chipped in and bought you this farewell gift. This magnificent Rolls Royce. Jack, since you won't be working anymore, you'll have plenty of time to enjoy this specially built car with its many unique features. The telephone, the color TV set, the bar, the stereo, and your name, your initials set in diamonds on the door.
In diamonds?
That's right, Jack. It's our goodbye to you. This beautiful $48,000 automobile.
But, Governor, I wasn't planning to... $48,000? That's 10 million yen.
Here's your gold, solid gold ignition key.
Besides those you've seen tonight, here are some of the stars who appeared on Jack's TV shows through the years. Watch closely. You're going to see a lot of your favorites. Well, the kid from Waukegan had quite a career. 65 years. How do you cover that in 2 hours?
And how do you sit here and find the words that can begin to convey Jack's incredible stature? Not just with the fans, but in the industry. The affection and respect he had from his peers.
Maybe that roster of guest stars we just showed says it for us. From Humphrey Bogart and Marilyn Monroe to Billy Graham. Sooner or later, they all showed up on the Jack Benny Show.
Lucille Ball came on so often she was like a regular. And she made one unscheduled appearance. Jack was saying goodnight and thanking his guests.
Lucy, what are you doing here?
How dare you do a special without me?
She did that for a laugh. But that's the way we felt. All Jack had to do was ask. We would have come on the show for nothing.
And frequently did. You know, we use the term pretty loosely these days, but Jack was truly a show business giant. He didn't just stand on the stage, he owned it. For years now, the networks have been trying to come up with a new Jack Benny type series. The format is there, the writers are still around, but there's one slight problem. How do you come up with another Jack Benny?
I once saw Jack lie down on the stage and let a full-grown elephant place a foot on Jack's head. It was really scary. After the show, I said, Jack, you really shouldn't have let that elephant put his foot on your head. You know what he said? Gee, I thought I got a good laugh. George, you were really the closest to Jack. Was there anything that meant more to him than getting a big laugh?
Getting 2 big laughs. Look, show business was Jack's life. Sure, he had interests. He loved Mary, daughter Joni. We were important to him. But hearing those laughs, that kept him young and vital. That's why I'm so glad about this evening. Jack would have loved it.
Yeah, I can just hear him up there saying, what took you so long?
Good night,
everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.